That was right down here at the end of the road. All right, these things are getting a little bit too close. So, okay, let's get in.
A car is the safest place to be in a thunderstorm. For Gunner Blank, who spends so much time near lightning, it's his only shelter. Most people assume cars are safe because they have rubber tires, but that's not the reason. In this high-voltage laboratory in the UK, an experiment is carried out to show exactly why a car is such a good shelter. Theoretically, if the vehicle is struck by a high-voltage spark, its metal chassis will conduct the electric current around the person inside the car and down to earth through the tires. It would be perfectly safe to sit inside the car during this experiment. However, safety regulations insist that a dummy is used.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The dummy has been wired up so any current passing through it can be measured. Time and again, a 2 million volt spark strikes the car, and each time the dummy is untouched. In these laboratory conditions, at least, the theory works. You really are safer inside a vehicle during a thunderstorm.
The man on shore who had come down to help, he said I'd long passed the blue stage, and there were people standing around telling him to give up on her. She's gone. Leave her alone. She's dead. And he refused to stop. He said, I'm not stopping. And he kept working on me until the paramedics got there and took over. And then it took them the 4 minutes before they got those vitals. The short-term memory for the first year after the accident was very much a problem. I could ask my husband a question 6 times, same question, probably within 10 minutes, and not remembered that I had asked. We even went home for Christmas the same year that I was hit, and I don't remember being in California for Christmas.
The major things that I experienced was equilibrium problems. I would just fall over without any warning. Mood swings. I'm a man who's always had a sense of humor, and I lost my sense of humor.
An analogy would be if you ran an electric shock through a computer. The outside of the computer looks okay. Probably if you took the casing off, the inside of the computer would look okay, but the software wouldn't work. Same thing happens with a person. Is very often they'll have memory deficits, problems with short-term memory, in particular with coding information, so that they can carry on a perfectly decent conversation with you in the emergency department, and then if you see them the next day, they don't remember they've ever spoken to you.
Could be hitting
Welcome to the 6th Annual Lightning Strike and Electric Shock Victims International Organizational Meeting, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
The physical and emotional problems lightning victims encounter are hard for anyone else to comprehend. So every year, survivors meet to share their experiences with each other. The only people they know will understand.
The next thing I know, my husband rolled me over and says, "You're going to be all right." And I thought, oh, I can't talk, I can't move. What's he talking about? And then I heard somebody say, she's been struck by lightning, and I heard all kind of people running around.
And what I noticed is for a split second, I'd seen a glow around my hand, and a really odd feeling. But before I could even think about it anymore, it snapped. She's seen a big bolt come over some treetops, and why it hit the van, I don't know. There's quite a few.
The group was set up by Steve Marshburn, himself a lightning victim.
From the time I was injured, I'd been corresponding with other people that had been struck by lightning, and I knew something had to be done because I knew others must be hurting as badly as I was for information, for answers. I've learned to deal with the capabilities which I have right now. I treasure life every day.
We are all increasingly vulnerable to lightning. Strikes can damage the technology our society depends on as easily as it can hurt people. Yet, even today, the best way to protect our fragile, high-tech communities is with a device 200 years old, the lightning rod. The rod must be strong enough to withstand the huge voltage and current of a strike. And in this outdoor experiment in Japan, lightning conductors are being tested with simulated lightning. 3 million volts of electricity jumping at least 20 feet to the ground. With a lightning conductor, the electricity is directed harmlessly away from exposed brickwork down this electrically conducting tape. At the bottom right of the picture, you can see where the simulated lightning is arced to the ground safely away from the block. Without a conductor, the effect can be devastating. The more sophisticated our technology becomes, the more vulnerable it is to lightning strikes. And one of the most vulnerable technologies of all is the airplane. In the air, a plane's radio systems, radar, and fuel tanks are all potentially at risk. In the 1980s, NASA flew this jet fighter right through the heart of active thunderstorms. Their aim was to learn more about plane safety by getting lightning to strike the plane. They succeeded. Today, every airplane's metal shell is carefully designed to conduct any lightning bolt around the outside of the craft in complete safety. But with a machine as sophisticated as the space shuttle, these simple measures are not enough.
We are go for golden start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Atlantis on a mission to study planet Earth.
The space shuttle is a multi-billion-dollar combination of high explosive fuel and delicate circuitry. A direct lightning hit could easily destroy any of the millions of electronic circuits on board the craft. The shuttle's lightning protection system is possibly the most complex and advanced in the world. It has to be. The Florida launch site is right in the middle of Lightning Alley, and the launch tower is the highest object for miles. It's vital to detect any lightning storms that may endanger the shuttle and to protect the spacecraft if it's hit. NASA's first line of defense is accurate prediction of when and where thunderstorms will occur. At Cape Canaveral Air Force Base, a special weather group monitors the buildup of storm systems 24 hours a day. If lightning comes to within even a few miles of the shuttle, stringent safety measures are immediately put into effect. If it's during the countdown, the launch will be halted if there's the slightest risk of a lightning strike.
Lightning is expected to occur within 5 nautical miles, starting at 13:45 local time to 15:45 local time. A warning will be issued when lightning is imminent or occurring.
The forecasters here get their information from satellite data, radar, and other sophisticated monitoring systems. A network of specialized antennas is scattered over the launch complex. These show when the electrical charge in the ground rises as the storm clouds pass over, giving warning of impending strikes. But it's inevitable that the shuttle or the launch tower will sometimes be hit by lightning, as this NASA security camera footage shows. So the second line of defense is physical protection. On the very top of the launch tower is an 80-foot fiberglass mast, which supports a lightning rod. Attached